There's a lot more going on out on Shelter Island than just dying scallops, and a lot of it is man-made.
Rising Tides. I really appreciated this piece because it was both informative and had a strong call to action very clearly laid out throughout the piece, but there was also an approachability and an authenticity to this piece that I think a lot of climate change documentaries miss out on. And by establishing the filmmaker expressing his mission, where he's coming from, his position, and allowing us to connect to him in a really authentic way, made this feel more genuine. And it felt like this was approachable content for anybody. And I think that's really important to get to that middle ground. I really liked the variety of subjects. We had people who are experts in their field and people who are studying and researching in labs on broad scales, and then also people who are affected by this in their daily life, in their daily work, and seeing the changes in nature and how that affects their livelihood and daily life. And I think allowing us to sit with all of these individuals, let their stories, their perspective wash over us, it was a very inviting way to take in this information and realize the gravity of the situation. I especially liked where I felt like I was sitting at the table with these people, just talking freely. I thought that was really effective, and this was a really well compiled piece.
Rising Tides. I really liked the use of news footage and other footage that was edited in to this. I thought that it was really smart to use that to kind of drive the point home. I thought that the interviews with everybody that the filmmakers chose, it was really educational, and their perspectives on things were really insightful about, climate change and kind of what's happening to the world. I also liked the transitions that the filmmakers used between like interviews and stuff like that. I thought it flowed really well. And when the filmmakers chose to do inserts of different articles, or they would switch to an article, Facebook, it was very clever and very smart, again, to drive the point home. From a technical aspect of it, I noticed that some interviews had a lot of camera sway and other interviews were perfectly still. It was like as if a tripod had been used for some, but not others. And some of the interviews really would have benefited from color correction and just some basic lighting. It was kind of hard to see when the back was all the way blown out, and the person who was speaking, their skin tone was just a really unnatural color. But the importance of the topic went a long way, and it kept your attention. So there you go.
Rising Tides. Wow. First of all, I'm always fascinated by this kind of documentaries that explore how climate change is happening and how it's affecting people. I just can't believe how many people are still out there that don't believe that we are dealing with climate change. This is something that the documentary mentions at some point, and it's frightening. I don't know what's happening with people. Maybe they are too afraid to recognize the truth. I don't know. But anyway, I think that this was a very illustrative documentary because it makes an amazing approach to how climate change is affecting regular people, people who work with crabs, who fish crabs and fishes, and I mean the seaman community. Uh, that was very interesting to see, because these people, they get to see how things are drastically changing, and that's a perfect example for someone who doesn't believe in climate change. I think that a documentary like this can maybe, hopefully, open a couple of eyes and make a difference among its viewers, because I get the impression that the people who did this documentary are, you know, down to earth people, are normal people. And this is not an advertisement, this is not something with a big budget, this is something that is made with with something that is made by a normal man, a normal group of people who are seriously concerned for what's happening with their seas communities and all the creatures that live in the sea and how they are changing their behaviors. It's frightening, yes. But again, I think that all in all, this is a very good documentary. It's very illustrative. It's a bit hard to watch because I always find it hard to watch when animals suffer somehow, but man, I hope that this documentary finds a way to reach to more people, because again, I'm convinced that something like this can change a few minds, and that's if we can change people's mind by group, maybe we can change people's mind individually. So hopefully that's something that this film can do. So congratulations on creating such a poignant film. It was very moving, and let's hope it makes a difference. Thank you.
This film is called Rising Tides. Wow, what an epic undertaking. I was so impressed by the passion of those involved in this doc feature. There was such a wide variety of people interviewed who are working to fight climate change, such as scientists, journalists, educators, and politicians. They were all so well versed on the topic. I really appreciated the table discussion of the various people in the fishing industry who have seen tangible changes in their harvests over the years and how their livelihoods have been disrupted. The film does an excellent job exposing how big industries, such as the fossil fuel industry, have affected environments with their policies over the years. Excellent footage, notably of news, political settings, and on fishing boats. The soundtrack was also very moving and inspiring. Well argued, important film.